Welcome back. Well, we have Chief Brian Fennessy, who is here on behalf of the Orange County Fire Authority. Well, how are you?
I'm great, Lisa. It's great to be back.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I know you have a very busy schedule, but maybe we've caught you sort of in between fires, which, you know, I know is really prevalent and not just a fire season now.
No, you're exactly right. You know, we've been talking about for a number of years, and now we're really considering it a fire year. So certainly we have, you know, our traditional or historical fire season, but as we've seen locally, even this year, we get fires in February, in March, and you know, we're in a very different environment than we've ever been.
Well, it's very dry, and unfortunately we're not getting the rains like we used to, and so there is definitely a shift in our in our patterns. So I can imagine that that is contributing to a lot of the fires, even if we didn't have a hot day.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, after years of drought, much of the vegetation here in Southern California, you know, has died. And you know, we live in a desert, and the vegetation, the native vegetation, is used to going 2 or 3 years of low periods of precipitation, but after multiple years, the vegetation dries, and that dead brush sits on the sides of those hills, and it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
We get a little rain, everything looks green, but within that green, you've got to remember there's a heavy dead fuel or vegetation component.
Right. Now, I understand that the Fire Authority, along with the government, there are programs that are in place where you clean out that dead brush, right?
There are. We receive grants, and a number of the cities get grants, and we call it vegetation management, where there's you know, vegetation removal. We certainly take care of a lot of that along the roadsides. Roadside fires are really the biggest threat here in Orange County.
Right.
There's a lot of money going towards fuel mitigation, both on the federal side and on the state side. So we encourage cities and agencies, HOAs, others to really look at what might be out there that could pay for, you know, that removal.
Well, right. Okay, good. Now, in regards to that, of course, we have a variety of HOAs. We have a few here, and I know that different parts, some do back to an area where there could be concern, but I would imagine we've addressed that.
We do, and our, you know, our fire prevention, you know, bureau is really diligent in letting, you know, HOAs, homeowners know when there's a threat.
Okay.
And we don't automatically go out and find people, but we do remind them. And over a period of time, if it's not taken care of, we will take a stronger stand. And we're really doing that for, again, the homeowners.
Okay.
As we've seen on the Emerald Fire in Emerald Bay in February, and then the year before, the fires that encroached upon Irvine and Lake Forest.
Yeah.
We didn't lose any structures. And while our firefighters did an amazing job, really credit goes out to those homeowners, the developers who built those units, you know, under code.
Yeah.
And in the past, it wouldn't have been unlikely to have lost perhaps hundreds of homes, but the community deserves a shout out. They've listened to the message, and we're showing here in Orange County that it does work.
Oh, that's good. That's good, because you certainly don't want to lose your home. I had visited someone that was up in the Anaheim Hills fire, and she had a very large picture of the firemen walking away from her home burning to the ground. And it's scary, really scary. So I'm glad you are, you know, that you've told the community that they're doing a good job. So excellent. All right, let's talk a little bit about air operations, because obviously, you know, there are places you can't get to and you need that air support.
We do. We really recognize aircraft as a force multiplier. And the whole key, you know, keeping fires small is a rapid, what we call initial attack. You know, very quickly, quick detection, quick response, pour everything you can on it to keep it small, because once it gets beyond what we initially send to suppress that fire, it becomes far more challenging. And so, you know, aircraft are a big part of that. On any report of a vegetation fire here in the county, we're automatically getting 2 air tankers, the fixed wing airplanes that drop the pink retardant out of Hemet, out of Riverside.
Okay.
And we respond 3 helicopters from OCFA, along with all the ground units. So the idea is just to get on top of it, knock it down, and let the ground units take care of putting it completely out.
Excellent. That's good that you have that as well. Okay, so within your group, your staff, when you hire people, there's a variety of programs that you now have in place to kind of accompany. People have been a little concerned about some diversity issues and things like that, but you have some programs in place.
We do, and diversity has been something that's been very important to me. I grew up with it. I grew up in the Pasadena area, and in the 70s, the Pasadena City Schools were a part of the early integration projects, and so I grew up in a very diverse community, both at school and in my neighborhoods, and quite frankly, we could do better here in Orange County, the Orange County Fire Authority, and I made it clear from day one when I got here that was going to be part of my vision and where we were going. And since that time, we have improved in the number of the underrepresented women firefighters, and we've hired a full-time diversity and inclusion coordinator. We're doing surveys. In fact, we've got a girls' camp. Young girls from 14 to, I believe it's 14 to 18 can participate. You go to our website, you can sign up, and we spend 2 days teaching young women and showing them what we do. The whole idea is to introduce them to it, and so that they understand this is something they can do. Right. And so we're driven to improve our numbers and to be more inclusive, and I'm excited about it.
I think that's a great idea, especially at that age level, because you're getting them at the high school level, and that's when they're starting to decide, okay, do I want to go to college? Do I want to do something else? And when I do go to college, what am I going to do? Right. And so it kind of lays that groundwork for them.
I agree. We have in the past focused on athletic programs at the college level, but have found that most the young women that are already there already have aspirations for what they want to do. Yeah. And when you talk with young women, they don't automatically think that the fire service is something they can do. Little boys grow up playing with fire trucks, and they envision maybe doing. Young women don't. So we need to introduce that to them at a very young age. That this is something that you can do if you'd like to. We have many women on this job looking for more, and we're going to get there.
Great, great. Well, if they want to know more about that, of course, they can always go to your website and they can learn some of the parameters and requirements and things like that, because I'm sure there are still quite a few for everybody. You still have to have certain things. So, all right, good. And then let's touch base a little bit on your emergency command center. So, obviously there's a lot of people that takes. And we've talked to a couple of dispatchers here. But every week you kind of do something different. Tell me about that.
We do. We celebrate a variety of divisions and shifts and whatnot. And most recently we've had what we used to call Dispatcher Week. Now it's called Telecommunicator Week, where we celebrate and show our appreciation for our emergency command center staff. That's really the nerve center. When you call 911 and you get pushed over to us, they receive hundreds of thousands of calls. We respond to 160-some thousand. Yeah. And their job is tough. They may be picking up the phone and instructing, an hysterical family member, instructing them how to do CPR. They may be, asking people to leave the resident, and then they're on to the next call. Yeah. And so it's a very difficult and very challenging job. Right. Takes a special person. Our attrition rate is about 50% through training because it is that difficult. Yeah. So they deserve the shout out. I have so much pride and appreciation for our dispatch staff.
That is excellent, excellent. Now, real quick, I wanted to congratulate you because you received an award, the Man of the Year at the Cypress College Foundation's 47th Annual Americana Award. Yeah. Wow. I had to kiddingly ask, did they just run out of people to? But when you look at the past decades of who's received that award, it's pretty humbling. And what I did at the ceremonies, I really wanted to show our appreciation for all the firefighters in this county. Yeah. The Orange County Healthcare Agency for the vaccination efforts. I mean, it was a very difficult time, and the fire service was asked by the county to carry on the vaccination effort. And I'll never forget the call I got where I was asked to help with vaccinating 3 million county residents. Yep. That's a pretty unusual request and not something that any fire department or any fire chief has been asked to do before. Right. And it was very successful, and we're very proud of it. Orange County did a great job as a whole. We got those We got those centers up real quick at Soka, and we even had our own thing here for all of our residents. So congratulations. I think
agree.
that's awesome.
I think Orange County shone very, very brightly over that period of time.
Great. Well, thank you for your leadership.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right. If you want more information about the programs that we have discussed, you can always go to ocfa.org. We'll be right back.